In the beginning was the Big Bang. Then after a long time and more complicated stuff came the donut. Join us as we travel the US in search of the best donut money can buy. Coming up on this week's episode of Dough Necessities.
Welcome back, guys. Today we are in Lehi, Utah again, this time visiting Spudly Donuts. Now, these guys have only been open for a month, but they're already making waves in the donut world. These guys make their donuts by hand, just like Grandma used to make them, and they also use potatoes in their recipe. Another potato donut shop. Let's dough. So Charity, tell us about the history of Spudly. Like, how did it come about? And you guys have been open for just about a month or so, right?
It started with my grandma, Bishop May, about 70, I think now 75 years ago.
Wow.
She was in her 20s, and they started making donuts as a church function, something or other. She continued to make them on through the generations for Christmas and for tradition, like kids coming over, and even fundraisers, which I just recently found out. Yeah, my grandma took them for service. She made them for service. Just people loved them. And I started, and my husband has been telling me that I need to be selling them forever. And I would laugh at him and say, okay, you know, because they're donuts. So everybody's got a place they buy donuts. It's just a donut, right? So, but he's like, no, it's not just a donut. They're different.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, especially when they're made with love, right?
Oh yeah, the love.
Well, if you want to, do you want to show us where the magic happens?
Of course.
Back here.
This is Marge. She's my mixer. This was actually one of the things that I wanted the most. Has a big bowl, mixes everything. She looks almost exactly like my grandma's.
Oh.
And
nostalgic then,
yes,
right?
And she's kind of an old lady. We love her. That's why her name's Marge.
And yeah, as they end, it's got a nickname. So,
yeah, Marge the Mixer. Mm-hmm.
And interestingly enough, my late wife's name was Margaret, so close, right? So yeah.
We did this one yesterday. I'm going to give it a try again. I think we're going to try it with a white chocolate glaze instead of regular.
Ooh, yeah, white chocolate. Yeah, that'd be
that
really
peppermint
good.
bark situation, right? But we had it, so I was like, oh, let's just throw it together. These ones are eggnog, and they have a gingerbread crumble. So you guys have, when we're done doing this, we'll come back here and let you. Yes, 100%. He's like, please. This one is
that one looks amazing.
An orange glaze and has a sugar rind, orange rind crumble on top of it. It is actually a recipe, orange roll recipe from my father-in-law's mother, Grandma Nelda.
Yeah.
And we eat them at Easter every year, and they're Christmas and Easter, and they are a hit every time. And I was like, this needs to go on a donut.
Yeah, for sure.
Grandma did that every year. She kept track of, and I'm not sure if she had a list written somewhere, but she kept track of every person who gave her or did some type of service for her, whether it was somebody who rolled in her trash cans or didn't give her a ticket when she was driving too fast, which was all the time.
That one, they got 2 plates of donuts.
Yes,
right?
and she remembered every person, and we would go. She passed away when she was 92, almost 93, and we took them around when she was 91, and she drove, which was an adventure.
Yeah, incredible.
And people, yes, and she was so much fun, and she would remember, oh, this person helped me do this. I better drop them off a plate of donuts. It just was one of those things that she just kept a mental track of all the people who did service for her.
Wanted people to know that didn't go unnoticed, right?
Yep, for sure. And
which this world can always use more kindness, right?
100%.
So.
Even though it may not be like the fastest or the best or whatever, because it's what Grandma did. So these other things are all things that are more, and she didn't do a lot of that, but she did the OG, the glaze.
Sometimes just the OG, just the glaze is the best. That's honestly one of my favorites.
Everybody wants a glaze. Rarely do you order donuts and not get at least one glazed donut. Like that's just
exactly
the one. So, and it's my favorite when people ask me, well, which one's your favorite? And I was like, the glaze. Chocolate's a close second, but it depends on, the time. But for most of the time, it's a glaze, and that's probably the one I have the most.
Are you wanting to grow this more?
Yes. For me, honestly, my dream's a little smaller than Scott's. I would love a place that people can come and be. have young kids that are that are in school, you know, playing sports. Even if they're there a couple hours, can make a little bit of money, you know, and the chaos of all of it. I'm from a huge family, and the chaos I love it. That's the best part about it. People are there spending time, being together, a place where people can come eat donuts, hang out. Like, that's the dream for me.
Yes.
Our classic donuts are chocolate, sugar, glazed, and maple. We'll always have those 4. I think the only time we will switch it is
rotating flavors.
Yeah, the chocolate, if we have like a chocolate with something, so we won't have double chocolates or whatever. This one is a powdered raspberry cream cheese. So instead of like a jelly-filled cream cheese, raspberry, it's like a cream cheese, raspberry cream cheese. This one is pumpkin spice with a cheesecake filling. Yeah. So it has like that cheesecake or cream cheese that mixes with pumpkin really well. People who don't like pumpkin, my mother-in-law, love this one because it's not crazy pumpkin. It's more like a spice. A strawberry chunk that has freeze-dried strawberries in it, and the actual frosting is made with the freeze-dried powder. And this is churro. Cinnamon sugar glaze and a little bit of cinnamon sugar. Yep. So for all your fans out there that love, you know, cinnamon sugar, it's been a fave.
Well, thanks again for letting us come by, Charity. Appreciate it, and best of luck with everything. I'm excited to see you guys grow, and thanks again for letting us come by.
You're welcome. Thanks so much.
All right, let's bust into this and see what we got here. Now, our friend Charity already told us what we got going on, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the glazed donut. Then we'll come over to the chocolate donut, and then we will end with probably the pumpkin spice. I think that's what we're going to go for. That one sounded really good, so we'll go with that. This looks fantastic. Now, as she mentioned, the dough is a bit dense when you're dealing with potato dough. So yeah, but the flavor should be still spot on though. That's one thing that's nice about potato dough. Sometimes it can make the dough a little bit more dense than regular dough, but overall though, the flavor should be good. So let's test it out. The right consistency for spud dough. And the glaze is really nice and flavorful. Not as sweet as it should be, but it's still really good though. Okay, now we're gonna break into the chocolate donut. Try this out. This chocolate looks fantastic, so I cannot wait to. The whole time we were going over all these donuts earlier, my mind was drawn to that chocolate donut. It's like, I cannot wait to try that chocolate glaze. Looks so good. You break that right open. Nice, same consistency as the glazed donut. So let's try this real quick and see how good this is. That chocolate glaze is fantastic. It immediately slaps me right in the face. Before I even started eating it, I could tell that it was gonna be fantastic. Great job on the flavor there. So good. This is how chocolate glaze or chocolate icing should taste, is just so super chocolatey. It's not overpowering, but really, really good though. All right, now next we're actually gonna try the pumpkin spice donut. I'm actually really excited to try this. I love seasonal type donuts like this that just, you know, it makes you look forward to them every year, right? Kind of like, you know, a Starbucks seasonal drink like pumpkin latte or something like that, right? Just something I look forward to every year. Not necessarily a huge pumpkin spice type person, but I do love pumpkin. It's very nostalgic for me. You know, I grew up where our families would have lots of pies and things like that for Thanksgiving or Christmas time. So, so for me, pumpkin or other seasonal flavors during the holiday times are definitely something I look forward to. So let's try this real quick and see how this tastes. Ooh, that's right. I actually forgot. This is pumpkin spice cheesecake. So, wow. It's got a nice, even flavor of pumpkin right across the board there. And then of course the creaminess from the cream cheese. Super good. Great job on this. The dough does seem a little bit more dense on this one. But overall though, flavor is really good, very consistent, and the cream cheese is just a perfect touch. So good job on that. All right, now, tradition we started a couple episodes ago, honorable mention. This cinnamon, or the churro donut is what they call it. That one's actually really good. So perfect for any kid, right, or whatever who loves just that cinnamony flavor, who loves churros. I'm a little kid still, so I get excited anytime I get a churro. So this one's definitely really good. Definitely give that one a try. All right, now let's go over the scores for all the donuts. For the first one that we tried with the glazed donut, we're gonna give the dough or texture a 9 score on that one. For the taste, we're gonna give it an 8. Not super sweet, which is okay for some people, right? But it is good to have a little bit more sweetness on that. For the presentation, we're gonna give it a 9, and then that gives it a total score of 26 for the glazed donut. Now for the second donut, which is the chocolate glazed, we're gonna give that a 9 for the dough and texture, and then a 9.5 for the taste. The taste was fantastic. The chocolate frosting or icing was great. Huge flavor burst to my taste buds when it came into my mouth, so it was awesome. And then for the presentation, 9, it looked great. Great job there. Total score on that one is gonna be 27.5. Now for the final donut, it's gonna be the pumpkin spice cream cheese one. That was a fantastic donut. I noticed on the dough, it was slightly a little chewy though, so we're gonna give it an 8.5 score for the dough or texture. Now for the taste, we're gonna give it a 9 because it was a great combination of the pumpkin spice flavor, but also the cream cheese. Just such a good combination. Great job there, guys. And then a 9 for the presentation. That's gonna give it a total score of 26.5. When we add all that together, that gives them a total score of 80, and then we'll divide that by 3 to get the average, which is 26.66 or 27, since we'll just round up. Great job, Spudly Donuts. Good luck to your success. I can't wait to see you guys popping up all over Utah.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you'd like us to come to a donut shop in your neck of the woods, go ahead and drop a comment or email us at doughnecessities@gmail.com.